Dolce&Gabbana is an Italian luxury fashion house whose advertising campaigns are some of the most pervasive in all of the fashion industry. This is partly because their advertisements have always pushed the limits of social issues and gender roles by using explicit images. But the 2007 Spring-Summer advertising campaign made the most noise and caused people to question just what the company was trying to say about men, women, masculinity, and femininity. The images of the advertising campaign all feature multiple men surrounding one woman who is lying on her back. The images can even be argued to be a time sequence of rape. Each image suggests a particular stage of rape by progressing to a more severe level of women's subordination. One would think people would be turned off by these images, but sales for Dolce & Gabbana increased by 21% after this ad campaign was released. In my paper, I argue that the 2007 Dolce & Gabbana ad campaign reinforces anti-women ideologies. It secures male dominance and female subordination within the sex-gender system by isolating women from other women, making women believe that hegemonic male power is natural and normal, entangling anti-women sentiments with the concept of beauty, and subordinating, hypersexualizing, exploiting, and objectifying women. Each image of the 2007 campaign present observable physical aspects and elements that provide clues to the image's ideology. The elements presented in each image depict ideologies about men, women, masculinity, and femininity. But I would like to look at these images individually, analyzing what each individual image says, and how refer to the figures as figure A, together figure what I argue to be a time sequence of rape. As you can see in the image, all figures are labeled. Image A presents 4 suited men who are all standing around a prone woman, figure E. The woman is lying on her back, clothed in a type of lingerie bodysuit. Her clothes and body position suggest vulnerability and hypersexualization. Her expression is devoid of emotion, and she makes eye contact with none of the other figures. Figure A, B, C, and D all tower over her, suggesting that they are in a superior, dominant position. In this image, figure B and figure D are staring blankly at the woman. There is very little contact between the men and the woman, but this situation is not normal. Figure A is the only figure touching the woman, his hand lightly placed on her arm. The men are surrounding the woman and entrapping her. This suggests a level of objectivity, robbing the woman of her agency. Figure C is cut off at the chest, having no face. This leaves an emphasis on his pelvis, suggesting sex. Figure C's lack of face is also dehumanizing. All figures are devoid of emotion. The sky is visible. The walls, in combination with the sky, resemble a museum garden, suggesting the figures could be statues or mannequins. Elements in image A suggest the first stage of rape. I see this photo as representing the first stage of rape because there is a prone woman surrounded by powerful men. There is no direct contact yet, but the men have encircled the woman, suggesting that they are about to take advantage of vulnerability. There is no sense of help around, suggesting that rape is inevitable. The emotionless face on the woman suggests hopelessness, but the emotionless faces on the men suggest they have no conscious or moral sensibility. Image A is using all of its presented elements to not only suggest an impending rape, but enforce the ideas that women are subject to men's desire at all times because men are dominant and women are inferior. Moving on to image B. In image B, I will refer to the figures as figure A, figure B, figure C, figure D, and figure E. As you can see in this image, all figures are labeled. Similar to image A, image B also presents 4 men and 1 woman. The woman is still clothed in black lingerie and she is still lying on her back. But unlike in image A, image B consists of 2 shirtless men and 2 men in industrial work clothes. The change from suits to industrial work clothes suggests that the men are ready to get their hands dirty. But the woman seems to be resisting figure D. Her hips are thrust off the ground as if she were trying to escape figure D's grasp. Even though the woman seems to be resisting, the men all stare at her with emotionless faces. Figure D is wearing sunglasses, which dehumanizes him and removes emotion from his face even more. Image B is the second stage of rape in the rape series because of each presented element. From image A, image B moves from a prone woman surrounded by suited men to a physically dominated woman surrounded by half-naked men. Each element points to male domination and anti-woman sentiments. The woman is merely an object for the taking. She is hypersexualized so that men are subordinating and objectifying her, making it much easier to exploit her body. Moving on to image B. In image B, I will refer to the figures as figure A, figure B, figure C, figure D, and figure E. As you can see in this image, all figures are labeled. Similar to image A, image B also presents 4 men and 1 woman. The woman is still clothed in black lingerie and she is still lying on her back. But unlike in image A, image B consists of 2 shirtless men and 2 men in industrial work clothes. The change from suits to industrial work clothes suggests that the men are ready to get their hands dirty. But the woman seems to be resisting figure D. Her hips are thrust off the ground as if she were trying to escape figure D's grasp. Even though the woman seems to be resisting, the men all stare at her with emotionless faces. Figure D is wearing sunglasses, which dehumanizes him and removes emotion from his face even more. Image B is the second stage of rape in the rape series because of each presented element. From image A, image B moves from a prone woman surrounded by suited men to a physically dominated woman surrounded by half-naked men. Each element points to male domination and anti-woman sentiments. The woman is merely an object for the taking. She is hypersexualized so that men are subordinating and objectifying her, making it much easier to exploit her body. Moving on to image C. In image C, I will refer to figures as figure A, figure B, figure C, figure D, figure E, and figure F. As you can see in the image, all figures are labeled. Image C is most different from image A and image B because it includes 3 women instead of 1. Image C is the most shocking and third stage of the rape sequence because figure D appears to be completely unconscious, while figure F and figure B, both women, seem to not only be complicit in the rape of figure D, but they seem to be aiding figure E in raping her. Image C takes on a new scene. The figures are no longer in a museum-like area as they were in image A and image B. Each one of these physical features constitutes a presented element that suggests intended ideas, references, allusions, themes, concepts, and ideologies. The presented elements also lead me to conclude that this image represents stage 3 of a rape. The 3 women present in image C, especially since they appear to be complicit and aiding the rape of another woman, suggest that this is how others should respond to rape. Because figure D appears to be completely unconscious, she is now completely robbed of her agency and is taking no pleasure in the act. This suggests that women are merely objects for the taking, that their pleasure, actions, preferences, and opinions don't matter, and that other women, figure B and figure F, should reinforce this idea because it is natural and normal. The cell-like setting of the photo, moving away from the museum-like setting of image A and image B, suggests there is nothing pretty about the scenario. The figures now seem very intent on an action, instead of having mannequin, statuesque appearances. The dirty tile suggests harsh, cold conditions. The lack of visible sky removes all sense of hope or knowledge beyond the walls of confinement. Image C is animalistic, even primal. Figure D is like a gazelle about to be eaten by lions. Because there are women in this image who are not helping one another, it demotes the idea of womanhood as a whole. It completely undercuts feminism by tearing it apart at its core. Feminists' whole goal being to advocate or support the rights and equality of all women. Image C promotes aggressive male power, completely robs a woman of her agency. It suggests how other people should respond to not only rape, but the hypersexualization, subordination, objectification, and exploitation of all women, telling them not to resist it, but to aid it, to stand behind your man. Hypersexualization, subordination, objectification, and exploitation are all major themes in the 2007 Dolce&Gabbana rape sequence, or to put it nicely, advertising campaign. These images all lead to one ideology: anti-women. The images ask the audience to believe that men are superior to women. They manipulate women into thinking that to be beautiful means to be suppressed and subordinated. They encourage women to conform to their expected roles and serve men. The images not only display anti-women sentiments, they commend them by reproducing them in all aspects of media. It could be argued that they commend by making the images so blatant. There are no obvious alternative interpretations of what the ads could mean, so one must assume Dolce&Gabbana believes in the subordination, hypersexualization, exploitation, and objectification of women. The dominant ideology, masculinism, continues to define men in relation to power, authority, and aggression. And since masculinity is conceptualized in opposition to femininity, and to be masculine means to be aggressive, powerful, and dominant, then the only conclusion to be made is that women are complacent, weak, and subordinate.